Whether you care about politics or not, whether you care about Donald Trump or not, new information about both of those things tells us a lot about the future of faith in America. You see, it turns out that while 2/3 of GOP voters say they want a candidate who shares their religious beliefs, it may not be that simple, and what that really means may have everything to do with the future of religious identity in America, whether you consider yourself Republican, Democrat, Independent, or frankly sick of the whole political game. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that while so many people say they want a candidate to share their religious beliefs, 30% of the people who are interested in Trump don't even score him as somewhat religious, let alone very religious. It turns out that even among this leading Republican in a party that claims to say religious belief is so important, they're looking past that and going for him anyway. What is that about? What is it about that even among Democrats, where religion is a less driving concern, they still like the fact that, Hillary is viewed as, quote, somewhat religious, and Bernie Sanders much less, and yet he's rising in the polls. And I think what it all hinges on is that demographers are asking questions about religious belief, and Americans are making decisions based on religious values. What's the difference? When you ask about belief or dogma, Americans, wherever they are, they know who these candidates are and what they really believe and what they really don't in terms of dogma or doctrine or church affiliation. It's very hard to fool us. On the other hand, they are willing to support candidates who they know aren't tied to a church or a tradition in the way they, the voters, may be, as long as two things remain constant. America doesn't want an atheist, and Americans do want people whose sense of policy and purpose resonate with the voters' religious values. And that is so right on with where Americans are relating to religious traditions and church and synagogue membership, mosque membership, temple membership in general. It has everything to do with the fact the fastest growing religious group in this country are the nuns. That's N-O-N-E-S, not Catholic religious women. Not because they're nothing, but because they are saying none of the above to the typical categories and breakdowns that are offered. Americans are not interested, necessarily, in candidates whose doctrine and dogma and membership mirrors theirs, but they are interested in supporting people who have a sense of purpose and policy that reflects what they, the voters, take to mean their religious identity. In other words, religious values, as held by voters, can be separated from traditional markers of membership in the communities and churches and synagogues where those values are rooted. That has real implications for what it means to create religious community in this country, let alone what kind of messages candidates should be bringing to the American voters in the race for the president. It has everything to do with what the future of faith and religious community in this country will look like long after the 2016 election is over, whoever happens to win.